Hi, Penny Prepper here. Today I want to show you how I make soap. And I was gifted this recipe. My friend's basically mother-in-law gave us this recipe, and we've been making soap, but I just decided to do it because my friend just had a little baby, so she doesn't really feel up to it, but I really wanted to make some soap, so I just grabbed everything. But this will make 40 bars of soap, and then her mother-in-law changed the recipe just a little bit to make the bars a little bit thicker. So we'll have some big fat soap bars. This right here is dried hibiscus flowers, and I ground them up. They're really coarse, so I want to use them for an exfoliant. I'm not going to add very much because I don't want it to grate people's skin off. It's crazy how stiff they actually are. So that gets added right at the very end. And then right here in that big white bucket is the palm oil, which I did 2 pounds of per the recipe. And then the coconut oil, I did 3 pounds of. And the Palmace olive oil, which I couldn't figure out what Palmace was. I had no idea, but it's just a grade. So it's like the highest grade olive oil you can get. You do 4 pounds of that. And then we do 1 tablespoon of the vitamin E oil. And 2 tablespoons of apricot kernel and castor triglyceride. 2 tablespoons each, which there's other oils that we have. You can switch them out and stuff. It's just whatever you want. And then right here is Copaiba balsam. And I guess what that does is it helps your scents to actually be, able to smell them, which this is this right here. That's my scents. So I did lavender and amber. See, this is the amber. And I was also told to be careful with the amber because it'll thicken up your soap really fast. So you have to be really careful with that. And then I thought for colors, I got my mica pigments here. So I have to do 2 batches because I don't have a big enough mixing pot. It's at my mom's. So I'm going to do 2 different batches. And then I thought it'd be cool to do this color because the amber is going to be you probably smell the lavender, but you're not going to be able to smell it as much as the amber. So I thought those colors would be good. Make sure that you have a kitchen scale. And then this is a protein container that I saved, and it works great because it's nice and light and it fits right on there to measure and hold. It'll hold everything I need to measure. And then this is the lye. For this recipe, it's 510 grams that you need, and I have this container that she gave. I guess she gifted everything to us, so that was pretty cool. But if you fill this up, then it's exactly the right amount that you need. If you use a little bit less lye and more water, it takes your soap longer to thicken up. Or if you use a little bit more lye, then it thickens up faster. So just be aware of that when you're mixing. And then of course, here's the water. And when you do your water, make sure it's room temperature and always add your lye to your water. Don't add the water to the lye, and don't use super cold water either. I mean, unless you like explosions. And then you're also going to need, I have some mixers, and then this is a temperature thermometer that you'll need. That's also really important, and it's dirty. So because when you do your soap, you want your oils and your lye water solution to be close to the same temperature when you mix them together. So you usually have to let the lye cool down while you heat the oil up and match them that way. So here's my 2 batches, and what I'm going to try and do is heat this one up and then add the lye and everything to that, and then pour it in my KitchenAid, and I'm going to, hopefully I can keep an eye on that while I'm heating this one up. And then I'll pour this one in to my box, and then I can do that one. So I'm going to have to split my scents, but I just split it into 2. I'm also going to add some whipping cream to make it a nice creamy soap. I also had some goat's milk, but I just decided to try out this. She also said, because I've never added this before in my soaps, and she said that make sure this is room temperature or else it will curdle. So make sure it's not really cold. And then let's see. Oh, I'll show you my box. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is the box I said is mine, but once again, it's me and my friends, and it was gifted to us by, you know, her mother-in-law. And like I said, 40 bars, and you want a nice wood box because it needs to cool down slowly. And see, it's got a lid. So you put the lid on there and you cover it with towels after you pour your soap in. Make sure you cover it with some wax paper. So hopefully we'll see. This is kind of low in here, but whatever. So yeah, so that's that. And so I'm going to go outside and mix up my lye solution and then start heating up the oil. And so then I will show you how that turns out. And one more thing I wanted to say before we actually mix the lye and everything is that you want to make sure you add all your additives very, very last. So my scents, my milk, or my whipping cream, and my hibiscus is going to be added very last, along with the coloring right before it goes into the box. Another thing, when you're mixing your lye and your oils, you want them to be about 180 degrees when you mix them, or 170, 180 degrees. And that way, I guess that's the best temperature to mix them at. I just go with what I'm told. I have failed a lot on soap, so I just try and follow the directions. So I guess, you know, the directions I was given. So I guess, you know, 170, 180 is the best temperature to mix your lye and your oils. While I'm waiting for that to melt, I wanted to show you our box of goodies here that we have. I'm not really sure what this is, but I'm guessing it's some other kind of exfoliant. And then we have some grapeseed oil and some sweet almond. There's some cocoa butter, and then we have a lot of scents. We have, you know, eucalyptus, whatever scents you want to add. Just to make sure that you put them on a piece of paper towel before you actually, you know, mix them on a piece of paper towel, a couple drops, so you can whiff it before you actually, you know, put it in there, because you want to make sure it actually does smell good. So that's our box of goodies that we were gifted. You know, starting out, it can cost a bit to start out, but once you have the basics, you know, you can really make some profits off of your soap, as well as, you know, knowing what your family is using on their body. So now I'm going to go check on my oil and mix my lye. So here's my lye solution, and I don't know what that like floaty stuff is. I'm not sure, but I mixed it outside, and you'll see it start to steam and the chemical reaction happen. And then once that steam stops, then you can bring it in. And as you can see, it's still kind of steaming a little bit, but I have it well ventilated. So just don't do this in an area where you can inhale it. That's not good. And then, so let's see here. I got my oil a little bit too hot. Uh-oh, sorry. Got my oil a little bit too hot, so we're going to move it off the heat. This. Actually, I'm going to pour it into my KitchenAid bowl. So, one second.